So in today's video, we're going to talk about how the hips should move in the start of the downswing, which often is known as the squat move. So we're going to keep it ultra simple. From the side-on perspective, okay, we need to understand something that is known as hip depth. And that means if I draw a line on the back of my hips, I need to be able to produce a backswing position where my right hip goes back, like so. And then as I start the downswing, I need to make sure that I move where I pull my left hip back, okay? Now, if you are struggling with your squat move, the most likely reason is because you are losing hip depth in the backswing position, okay? And that would mean that you are somebody who is kind of getting set up and you are turning theoretically too flat. So can you see the way my hips end up coming slightly further forward? So a really good and simple exercise to practice the correct move is by keeping your trail leg flexed. Okay, keep it bent, keep your head nice and still, and just sort of trigger a nice rotation where you feel like the weight moves into more the outside portion of your right foot. Because golfers who struggle with maintaining hip depth move more this way. See the way that now my hips come forward. We don't want that. If I allow the weight to move into the outside part of my foot, this is kind of known as turning the pelvis into the leg, which basically gives us a much more sturdy base. Now, once you do that, you look at the functionality of my leg. Can you see the way that as I turn, the upper part of my trail leg moves outwards? Okay, so as my pelvis is turning and my right leg is trying to stay flexed, this leg moves outwards like so. Okay, now that's an important thing to understand, because what needs to happen now is as I start the downswing position, I need to pull the left side of my hip back. So I need to concentrate on that, not moving this one forward, pulling the left side back as I get the weight to progressively move into the left. And what happens if I do that really slowly? So I pull the left side back, and then as I pause in this position, this is known as like dual external rotation, which basically means my upper part of my right thigh is pointing that way and my left thigh is pointing that way. So what you've got to be careful of is I meet a lot of golfers who sort of, you know, in the downswing sort of think that you've got to rotate, you've got to do this, right? And I see this sort of stuff in instruction a lot. That's not what you watch a tour pro, they don't move like this, right? What they do is they load in towards the trail leg, and then they use that to move in towards the lead leg. And can you see the way that then you end up in dual external? So the big message is, if you are somebody who is trying to create a squatting sensation, okay, in your downswing, you need to understand a few things. The first thing is that you need to understand how to turn into the leg correctly. And that means keep this leg flexed and let the weight move into the outside part of the right foot. I think is a good piece of generic information for most golfers. And then as you start the downswing, you need to make sure that you get the feeling of pulling your left hip back or your lead hip back as you allow your weight to move in towards the lead side. And that will make you move more this way, which is a key thing as you sort of start that downswing position. So work on those couple of key components, and I'll see you guys again really soon.